What's up, guys? We're back for another episode of $1 Million Builds. Does this look familiar? Look down there. You can see me there when we had the forms in, which were like probably this tall. But now it doesn't look so massive. We've actually filled the garage. This was a big point of interest in the last episode. But we filled the garage with gravel. And as we do that, we have to compact it along the way. We have to have a geotech test it, look at it, make sure the compaction is right. But you'll notice that the end over here is not filled. And the reason for that is because that wall was so tall that we have to let that concrete cure for a certain amount of time before we fill the back of the garage here and compact that. Otherwise, it jeopardizes the structural integrity of the foundation itself. So we got to leave this open for a while, but we got the rest of this gravel in. It was a lot of gravel, let me tell you. But as you can see, we've raised it up. So we've made a lot of progress. You can see the foundation is in. We've got the initial framing. We've got initial plumbing, initial HVAC work. We've got our driveway kind of sculpted out. So let's go around and take a look. We've got the driveway in here, which is home to the infamous pain in the ass water meter, which has been a problem, I don't know, many times now. But now you can see we've created the driveway for the new house here that's going to come in. You'll notice here that we've got these little guys popping up, and then on the other side we got this guy here. And what those are is its actual electrical conduit that we put in the ground because we want this to feel grand and rich and private. And so there'll be monuments that are put right there, and somebody will have the ability to put a gate on. We may do it, I'm not really sure yet, but we've got electrical down here so that when people put monuments on each side of their driveway, they can light up with little lights, which makes it look real nice. So we've got the driveway in here. You can see the water meter there. The second issue with the water meter is that it's so close to where our driveway is that I've had to contact the Palatine Water Department to see if they can move it back towards the road and down, because right now it's sitting up high and it's sitting towards our driveway, and we had a big truck clip the box, and when it clipped the box it pushed down on it. When it pushed down on it, it pulled one of the joints away, and so we had water geysering everywhere one day, which didn't help our relations with people in the back. But bottom line is it's kind of in the way, and it may get clipped again. And as we widen the apron here for the approach to come in, because we don't want it to feel real narrow, we may have to push it back and down. The problem is they're going to charge me for it, so I got to see how much money it is, and we got to balance whether or not it's worth doing that. So it's an ongoing problem, but it's one that we're continuing to deal with. Let's go check out what progress we've made on the actual house. All right, so now we're up at the house itself. You can see we have our initial framing, we have our floor joists down, we have our initial plumbing, and our initial HVAC work, which we run in the crawl space. You also see that we've got vapor barrier down there. It's a little bit of a pain right now because it's been raining. We've had literally 2+ inches of rain in like 9 days here in April, which is I think 3 times the average amount of rain we get in April. So this has been filled with water, which kind of sucks. It's got a lot of our stuff really wet. So we're probably gonna have to dry this out really well at some point. But right now, Carlos is here today, he's over there, and we're waiting for the city inspector to come out. They're gonna look at everything that's here. Once they approve it, that's when we put the decking down. And the decking is basically the plywood that you put down, and then you start framing walls off of that. So once we put the lid on this thing, that means we can go vertical, but we've got all the stuff in place now to have it inspected, and just kind of all the rough trades so that we have a good foundation, literally, and then of course our plumbing and our HVAC work as well. So you can kind of take a look around here and see what it looks like. The other thing is that you'll see these little black things popping up everywhere. Right there, there's a clean out, there's a couple more rain drains. That is an important piece of this whole thing. There's a couple more over there. Those were installed after we did foundation. So last time we were out here, we had the forms up before foundation was poured. They poured foundation, they took the forms off, and after that, they did a little backfill grading against the foundation itself. But before that, they put in all of our stormwater utilities. So basically, anything that you see that's popping up that's a black pipe, it's to catch all the rain that comes off of the roof, as well as connect the drain that comes off the wall. And so what we've got to do now is deal with that stormwater, and that's kind of a challenge. We did some geotech testing here on this lot, and unfortunately the soil is really, it's clay, which means it doesn't absorb water. So what we have to do is build a rain garden down there to basically house the water as it comes off of the hillside and it comes off the roof before it eventually goes to the culvert. So let's go take a look and I'll show you how that's all gonna work. All right, so as you guys can see, this is where the drains end, right there at the edge of the foundation, and then we put some temporary pipes in here that come to the culvert. The culvert is basically the storm system for Dunthorpe in this area. So all storm water eventually gets to the culvert. If you build new construction though, they don't want you piping it directly to the culvert. They make you put in a rain garden or a dry well. And so because the soil is so, it's clay and it doesn't absorb water very well, the infiltration rates are terrible, we have to put in a rain garden. And so right here, where we have these trees that are all tagged that I talked about last time, these are coming out. We actually have to wait for PGE to trim the limbs that are above the lines. Our arborist won't cut them because they're not supposed to, so he's doing the right thing. But once PG trims those, we'll take the trees out. Once we take the trees out, we can grade out this dirt over here, this big mound. And once that's done, then we can start to sculpt the rain garden. The rain garden is basically a big hole in the ground that you fill with all kinds of rock, soil, plants, anything that can kind of absorb and hold water. And then at the bottom of it, there's a drain, and that drain catches the overflow once it gets to a certain point, and it's gonna take it to the culvert. So basically, the rain garden acts as a governor on the amount of water that can come into the culvert. That's really its purpose. And so right here will be where our rain garden is, and ultimately there'll be a pipe that looks similar to this, but it'll be underground and it'll come out to the culvert, and all the rainwater will come off the hillside, it'll get routed to the rain garden, and then eventually it'll make it to the culvert. And that's how we're gonna deal with our stormwater on this site. All right, guys, we got the sun popping out just barely. We beat the rain today, which is awesome. As you can see, there's the driveway. We're making progress. When we come back next time, we'll have walls, and you'll see a house up there that's starting to take shape. So we'll see you guys on the next episode.